that gives you the general idea of what you need to do to fix the thread on a nut, and I'll show you the same on a shaft, which reason being I'm just cleaning the threads on this nut. I'm not recutting anything, but plenty of our old favourite WD-40 or cutting grease or compound, whatever you want, but lubricate it well. Get it in there and just gently turn it until you feel resistance and back again, and keep doing that until the whole thread's clean. Okay, so I've already kind of prepared this off camera because you can't do it one-handed, but just for the sake of it, pretend it hasn't been repaired. So basically, here's your die in its hand holder, and what you do is you make sure that the soft inclined threads are at the start. You don't want to use the back side where it's just all straight thread. You want to ease into it. Basically just offer it up, and what would happen is when you initially start, you want to make sure that it's perpendicular, it's all 90 degrees, it's straight. You check it from the sides to make sure it's going on right, and then basically you just use a bit of hand force and you start turning, and then you get it, say a quarter turn, half a turn, whatever feels good, back it off, bit more lubricant to clean the threads out, and then clockwise again, and you basically keep doing that until you get the whole thread recut or cut or cleaned or whatever, and that's it. So this one tool is an absolute lifesaver. So thanks to Ian Harvey, you know who you are, for getting me at short notice on a Monday morning and lending it to me. I'm eternally grateful. So I'm just going to chase up the rest of the threads. I've already tried. I've used the tap on the threads on the nut to clean them. We'll just chase up these threads here. That's actually the kit. It's worth a fortune, the whole different set. You can buy the small kits in, you know, auto stores, go up to maybe M12. This is usually from about M12 up. You're into like M22, M24, and it's more industrial machine shop application, so really handy, worth every penny. So I'll crack on. Now what we've got to do is get the clamping seal on the drive shaft boot and all this crap and electronics in, get the brakes back on, get the spline into the hub, get the nut on, get the drop links and all connected up, and hopefully that's the end of this disaster. Because what I didn't show you the other day on film was when I took out the drive shafts, basically the CV boot came off with the other half still in the gearbox, so I had to fix everything in place here and try and get this aftermarket CV rubber on, and it was a nightmare. It's actually a millimeter or two smaller than the original BMW part, which I didn't know. I bought it from Eurocar Parts. It's not an OEM part, but it's the only one I could get at the time, so it took a lot of massaging and a lot of bad language to get that on, but it's on and it ain't coming off. So that's about it. So I'll clean up, lubricate, grease there, get the drive shaft in, and fingers crossed. There you go. Nice and free to turn, all good. Adventures of the Mini. Here's another reason why I hate German cars with a passion. Because some of the nuts and bolts here are 18, some of them around here are 13, some of them are 17, and this one happy chap here is an 18, but because it's on linkage going onto the power steering rack, you also need a Torx head to put the Torx head into here to hold the actual ball joint so that you can turn the spanner there that's on the nut clockwise. And if the internal threads in here where I'm tapping are damaged, you have to take it out and you have to disconnect it there, over there, and then you have to buy a new one. So this time I got really lucky because my monster torque gun managed to break the nut off the first time without spinning it, and that meant that I could clean it up, degrease it, and then re-lubricate it so it was nice and clean and the threads are all slippy. I managed to get it on by hand and hand tight, and it's pretty tight now, so without damaging those annoying little threads in there, which go on there if the camera will focus. So complete pain in the hole. That's all I'm going to say. Here we have another pain in the arse. This is my ratchet with a Torx head. on the locking nut and a 17mm spanner, because you can't get a socket on the nut, and whenever you go to turn the nut, the whole ball joint spins inside the rubber. So get the Torx head on and actually turn it anti-clockwise and hold the spanner, and that'll do it. And it's the same down there on that one. And you can only put it up hand tight, the lock nut tightens, and then you can almost feel that those threads are about to give on you. So God help whoever else wants to get that off, they're going to have to do the same as me and cut it. So thanks BMW, good job dicks. So here's another wee challenge. Shock absorber, bolt it up in, try to line up that hole with that bolt hole, because when I took the suspension apart, the shock absorber was completely seized in the hub. Now that I've put the wheels on, put the CV back in, it just decided to pop out. So now I have to take the shock out at the top, try and pop it down into that hole, tighten the bolt, and then stick it back up in there and tighten the top ones. I've totally had it with this car. I'm gonna start swearing on camera. There we go, that's it in. Everything's in properly. I just undid the bolts at the top under the bonnet, wiggled this, lubricated it, bashed it with a hammer, and then used the jack down there, lowered the car on the jack, and that was about it. So it's in. Everything else is good, and I can present to you the worst car repair I've ever had the misfortune of having to undertake. It's done. So next time it needs a service, I'm going to pour a £5 petrol on it, burn it, and claim the insurance. I'm done. Thank you for watching.